How did Jared look today?
He practiced. We'll take a look at the tape and then make a decision.
Do you think there's a real shot that he plays this week?
Potentially. We'll take a look at the tape, talk as a staff, and then make a decision.
After a good Thursday practice, on Friday, you go through red zone, and is it one last time to just do things that you want to take a look at, or are you always making adjustments and all along?
I think you're always making adjustments, but today is emphasis by you say Friday. I'm assuming you meant today's practice. It's mostly the emphasis is the red area. So. We'll take a look at the tape. If there's things that we don't like, we'll make that necessary adjustment. There's always some tweaks in there, but for the most part, this time of the year, I would say the majority of the times, there's not a whole lot of stuff that they've not done before in the past.
You made a decision with Luke?
We'll talk about that as a staff as well, and I'm sure you guys will find out on Monday night.
We were told to ask you what the G of the week is, since we were briefed on it yesterday.
Who asked? Is that a Waller's question?
No. Two of your coordinators mentioned it yesterday, but
yeah.
Is that something that you guys have been doing for a while? Is it just
for a
players
couple years now?
Okay. What do you need to do to get that every week?
It just depends. I think it varies on the situation. Sometimes it's for a guy that just puts the team first, or maybe they're battling through something. Maybe they got called upon on short notice, maybe not getting many reps during the week. Somebody goes down, they step in, and they're on top of their stuff. So there's various circumstances that kind of get guys nominated for G of the week.
So what was it for Carrington other than just making the plays?
I think it's just being consistent with his work habits, his practice habits, going out there and competing every day. And then you see that come to fruition in the game. And that's something we always talk about, that practice preparation equals game reality. And he's been so consistent in practice that it's not a surprise that he was able to make plays in the game.
Do you think there's some value in being so young in these big playoff type moments and maybe they don't know any better these last 2 years, and how do you think Goody's done to kind of fill in the roster with guys who can live up to the challenge, even though they may not have that experience?
Yeah, I think Goody's done an outstanding job. I don't think he probably doesn't get enough credit for just the job that he's done building our roster and just getting guys in here that love the game of football, because the tape is the tape, but it's you want to find out through the scouting process, and I think our scouts do an outstanding job of going in there and finding what the person's all about. And you really want to get guys in here that love to compete, that love the process, that love the game of football, because ultimately when you get the right people, you got the best chance for them to realize their potential. Potential is always a scary word, and talent is talent, but will guys put in the work and become the best version of them? And that's really all you can ask of anybody, is just to be your best each and every day. And I think guys that embrace that and come in with the right mindset, the right work ethic, will ultimately be the best version of themselves.
Going back to JR for a second, he's obviously played a lot of football. He's obviously missed a lot of time. Whether it's this week or 2 weeks from now or whatever it is, how long do you think it would take for him to get back to playing the way he wants to play? Has he played so much that he can kind of, like riding a bike, as they say?
Well, I think it all comes back down to the preparation. I don't think you just magically return to form without competing and putting in the work and practice, but I do believe that if you do it in practice, then it's going to transfer to the game.
Is that one reason why you kept him on the roster rather than putting him on IR? That way at least he could keep practicing these last few weeks?
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think of the season that Kingsley's put together for you, and especially during the stretch here since after the Preston trade, kind of stepping up in the second half?
Yeah, I think he's done a lot of nice things. I think the whole group is up their play. I think we're playing the best we've played up front, and we got to continue to push and demand even better. But I think he's done a really nice job with more opportunity and just doing his 111th and playing to the standard that we have for that group.
Since Darren Rizzi took over, I think Cam Jordan's back to getting more snaps and therefore more production, like more quarterback pressures. Do you see little things like that that have happened in the last 4 or 5 weeks where the Saints have actually improved on defense?
Yeah, the Saints have done an outstanding job. Teams are having a hard time moving the ball and having a hard time scoring points. And a lot of these games have been close. I mean, they've lost 4 games by 3 points or less. So you're talking about the difference. I mean, that's a very minimal difference. And they could easily be sitting at 9-5 right now. So I think our guys realize what type of team is coming in here and what's at stake. So I would expect us to play our best ball.